Yo, guys, on fire here, back on the video, and today we're going to be hopping into another defense in Madden 25. Today we're going to be running a very good formation, which is the nickel or the 3-3-5 penny. Really, it's a nickel 3-3-5 penny, but this formation very, very good. It gets decent pressure. You can blitz out of it, and it gets really, really good coverage. It is similar to a normal 3-3 wide look. Very similar, but it is a little bit different. You can see just by the look of it, the safeties seem a little bit more closer. Linebackers a little bit closer as well. So overall, we're going to show you guys a very good defense. There's a lot of good match defenses in this. We're only going to go over one. The one that we're going to go over is going to be cover 6 right there on the left-hand side. But there's a lot of other good stuff. The cover 6 Willie, I'm a fan of that. Cover 9, we could do videos on that. A lot of good stuff. Obviously, there's quarters and palms. So lots of good stuff there. Now, we're going to have auto flip off for this defense, and we're going to have baseline on. We could talk a little bit about zone drops later, but this is going to come out of the Carolina Panthers defensive playbook. It is in a few others as well. Not that I know off the top of my head. Maybe Minnesota. I don't remember. But anyways, we're going to run cover 6. Now, we do have auto flip off. The way you're going to do it is you're always going to have the cover 2 on the short side of the field. Now, again, this isn't going to be a defense running every play. So you're like, oh, the offensive player is going to catch on to that. They probably will if they're a good player. But you're not going to run it every play. You're going to mix it in with other coverages. So you're going to want to run it on the short side of the field. And that's exactly what we are going to go through and do here. So we're going to run it on the short side of the field. And we're going to go up against a little tight slots look. So short side of the field would be the right side in this case. So we're going to respot the ball over here, move it over to the right side. And let's get straight into this. So the first thing that you like to do, or I like to do, is going to be press the defense. Now you are baseline pressed. Keep that in mind. If you don't want to be baseline pressed, you don't necessarily have to. It would depend on the actual set that you're facing. If you're facing tight, it may be okay to not be baseline because those linebackers would already be compressed. So I would press. And again, I'll probably show the defense with baseline on versus it off. The situation where it is in a trips, look, that's where you really want to have baseline on, just because you want the linebackers more compressed versus out wide, specifically for the run game. So what I like to do is I like to, honestly, instead of just pressing the defense, you could actually pinch the whole defense because I like moving those D linemen in. I like moving those linebackers in. The next thing you're going to do is slant your D line inside. And then what we're going to do is put X on a vert hook and shade over the top. Or don't scratch that. Don't shade over the top. But I'm going to reset the play here. You're going to just put B in a cloud flat. So shading over the top would turn the quarter flat into a curl flat, which is not what we want. We want to keep the quarter flat because it's going to play match over there. Now the soft squat could be okay over there, but I like the cloud flat a little bit better. Now with zone drops, depending on how he's playing it, you could adjust. You could leave it default for now. We'll talk about situationally moving it up, but usually 10 yards is okay. The last adjustment that we're going to do is put X in a vert hook. So again, we pinch the defense, we slant inside with our D-line, we cloud flat B, and then we put X on a vert hook. So really only 4 adjustments. It is relatively simple. We will show some advanced setups a little bit later. And then with your user, you're going to use this 3-rec hook. You can see you don't have to be super aggressive because you have help really across the field. So you can really watch backside posts, things like that, little streaks up the middle. But for the most part, you can keep things simple over here. Work over. You see, I would defend A. I could lurk over on RB. Very solid setup. Let's say they ran it like maybe they put Evan Ingram on a post or something. They go drag, backside angle. Something like this. This would be a good setup. Again, we're going to pinch the defense. We're going to cloud flat B. We are going to slant inside, and we are going to vert hook X over here. Very simple. Let's also streak Christian Kirk over here. And we'll go ahead and snap the ball again. Now with the sheds over here, the sheds should be decent in this middle area. So I like to kind of hover here. Sometimes you can get weird block sheds. Now it's not going to really work great, but sometimes you can get decent little block sheds. Again, overall defensive coverage, pretty solid. Now, taking a look, it is something to notice that the vert hooks I don't know. They play a little bit weird sometimes, so this is where we can get a little bit more aggressive depending on our personnel. Now, you are going to need athletic linebackers for this defense. I will let you know that. But an aggressive way to play the defense would be incorporating some man coverage. So let's say I'm getting killed by the running back or whatever the case may be. We could incorporate some man coverage. I'm going to man up the running back here. And the linebacker on the running back may not be the worst thing ever. I'm going to man up Christian Kirk here, maybe in the middle of the field. You know, or let's say I'm getting killed by a backside post and I'm going to create a new route combo. Maybe I man him up on Gabe Davis. And the combo could be post, drag, streak, corner out, flat. Something like this, which would be a solid setup. So let's say I'm getting killed with something like this. We could still sit in the middle of the field over here. I'm going to kind of lurk over on the drag. And now the corner out's going to be open, which is where you got to start being careful. Because if the corner out is going to get open, you could play this a little bit differently. We could turn it into a classic cover 3, or what we could do is turn it into a cover 4 with a cover 3 on one side, which is actually an interesting way to play the defense. But we'll talk about some advanced stuff you can do a little bit later. Now, let's say we leave the soft squat. Would that play get open? Corner out, streak, flat. This is with the soft squat. Now, if he's pressed, it probably will. You see, it's really going to be tough. So playing cover 2 is a very risky defense for that reason. So if you're getting really killed with those corner routes, you have options. You could set that zone drop a little bit higher with Surtain over there. You could throw him on an aggressive zone. We could throw him on an outside quarter or maybe an outside third. Now, again, I would probably go boom, something like this. And then even with A over here, we could kind of leave him in his deep half. He's going to roam. You could put him in an inside third. You could put him in an inside. So you could put him in a middle third like this. He's going to kind of roam over. So you could do this. And then again, we can still put X and a vert hook over there. So we still have help in the middle of the field. We just got to really lurk more so over on that right side. But this would be a good counteraction to a corner out setup, I believe. Now we still may not play it the greatest, but you see, I mean, he's bagged over there. The coverage turns out a lot better. Now, sometimes, clearly, your sheds will not be the greatest. That's bound to happen. You're rushing 3. That's why you got to mix it in with other blitzes. But that would be a good action to defend against corner routes. So that first setup would be good for inside breaking routes. And again, we do run it on the short side for that reason. That's a simple adjustment you could do to counteract that. Now, let's say you want to play some kind of a man coverage look, or even show a man coverage look. And also, actually, I want to show one thing first before we... I don't necessarily need to. So we'll turn that off. Come on the same defense. And let's say we press normally. Now this is what the defense looks like. It's a big difference. It gives more of a scary effect, gives more of a man coverage look. Definitely a situation where we can now play a man coverage look. So we could easily run a man over here. Now again, you're going to have to watch the middle of the field. So this is where you need some speed, because you're going to have to watch deep crossers from like left to right. Like if Christian Kirk is on a deep post in the setup, it looks a little chaotic. This would be a good setup. So if they're running something like this is where you are going to have to bail, defend over here. Now you see he actually gets matched. We get really fast pressure there. So you do got to trust your match, because then the safety is going to take him. So that's actually a good look. Now, what I was going to show is, let's say we go with a show 3. This is actually interesting. This would be a situation where if I show 3 and I still pinch everybody like normal, I want this guy over here. This could be more of a situation where, again, I could go with the quarter. I could leave A in his deep half over there, or I could even put him in the middle third. He's going to kind of bail middle, rotate over, or so you go deep half or middle third. It's up to you. You could still go curl flat, boom, and we go vert hook. This would be a good way to disguise the coverage really well. Your opponent's going to run something like this. You know, who knows what he's running, something like this, boom. And, I mean, there's nobody open on that play. Maybe the running back early, but even then it's a quick 5-yard gain. This would be his main read over here. Really a it's going to be a difficult pass. The curl flat defends it well. Over here is covered, post right in the middle. I didn't even have to use her. Look at the vert hook. Absolutely perfect coverage. So even then, really my best bet would be I could just bail and defend the running back myself, actually. And again, if we were playing that heavy man coverage look, and if we wanted to man up both these players, I could give myself the responsibility of still defending the move in, idiot. So if I was gonna play it like this, I could do this. I could put him in just a flat over there. So really, I'm only gonna have to defend. Now again, it becomes risky. If you want, man up Christian Kirk, give yourself some help. You know, it's gonna allow me to defend the angle route completely. We defend the angle, nothing's open. So you see just some different ways to do it. Now let's say we want to try and send pressure out of it. Now it's going to be tough to send pressure. You still can send the 5-man rush. I don't know that the pressure really works great out of the defense. Now if you're sending pressure, I would probably just go hard flat over here. Let's take away the quick read. Let's try and lurk in the middle of the field. You're going to probably lurk on the right side, so it's good to put your user over here. Now it's not really going to be a quick blitz, but it's a decent way to get pressure. And again, you want to keep kind of the same disguise, so that's what I would recommend. Now, other ways we can run the defense are going cloud flat over here. So let's say we go cloud flat. See, the stupid thing with this defense is that you can't put Y, this formation, you can't put Y in a deep half, and it's just really, it really creates problems here. So if we wanted to play kind of this style of defense, you either have to leave them on the inside quarter. You could go outside third left, and if we did that, we could play a cover 3 over here. And here, and this is a complicated defense, what we did, and I would want to be baseline for this defense, so we're going to actually go back and run it again. This is going to be our most most complicated and last setup for this defense, by the way. But what we're going to do is press, pinch the defense rather. We're going to cloud flat over here. We're going to put L1 in an outside third left. We're going to put A in a middle third. We're going to put B in an outside third, or you could go outside quarter on the right. And then we're going to put A in a curl flat and X in a vert hook. We're going to slant inside again. This could be a really good defense. It's a cover 3 cloud, but it is honestly a cover 4. And again, you can still set the zone drops to whatever with the cloud flats. Now, when you adjust the curl flats, I think those do adjust the quarter flats, so you don't really want to touch those because you don't want the quarter flats playing a zone drop. But here, is this defense dangerous or what? I mean, really solid. We snap the ball, boom, work in the middle. We get quick coverage. X would be his only real read, but over there we had that guy moving. That's a tough pass, and if he bullet passes it, it's probably an interception. So, I mean, that is just a really complicated way, but if you're really trying to adjust, and you could also man this player up on anybody you want. I mean, this coverage is really, really good, and it's just a complicated one. Now, again, he gets bumped. You could also man up the running back over there and kind of play the flat with yourself if you want it. But that's going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.